All right, earlier tonight, Virginia's Attorney General candidates, they squared off in a debate, and Democrat Jay Jones was finally confronted head-on about his vile text messaging, and he repeatedly failed to respond to any attack from the current Attorney General running for re-election. Miyares, look at this.
You're also going to hear from my opponent about text messages that I sent that I deeply, deeply regret. Let me be very clear. I am ashamed, I am embarrassed, and I'm sorry.
You had 3 years to say you're sorry, Jay, and you didn't. 3 years to actually recognize what you did was horrific. You chose to stay silent. Carrie Cornier called you out then. You doubled down. It was after she called you out for these text messages that is when you said you advocated for violence against children. He keeps saying that he is sorry. Jay, if you're really sorry, you wouldn't be running. If you really understood the ramifications of what you said about an innocent mom and her children, you know Todd Gilbert. You've served with him. Jennifer would come to the General Assembly. She would bring her children. We would see them run on the hallways. They were 2 and 5 years old at the time. I find it a little bit stunning that today you say one of the pillars of your public safety platform is protecting children. Were you protecting Jennifer's children when you said you wanted to see them die in their mother's arms? How can anybody who's ever worked in any of the crimes against children, all of the areas of federal and state local law department, how can they ever take you seriously, be the top prosecutor, knowing that you view that children should die to advance a political agenda? It's unconscionable, and if you were truly sorry, you would not be running for this office because you disqualified yourself. How could Jay Jones lead the extraordinary men and women in the Attorney General's office in Virginia when he wouldn't himself pass a background check to take on this role? We now know who Jay Jones is, by his own writings, that he wants to piss on the grave of his political opponents, that he wants to see Todd Gilbert with 2 bullets in his head, and that he wants to see a child as young as 2 years old die in his mother's arms.
He said all of it, and piss on their grave, and if he had 2 bullets and Pol Pot and Hitler and the speaker in Virginia, he'd use both bullets on the speaker, then go after the kids. Now, Attorney General Miyares also called out Jay Jones for his vote, allowing men to compete in women's sports and share locker rooms. Take a look.
But I do find it amazing, Jay, that you talk about the importance of protecting women when it was your vote and your advocacy that put biological men in women's sports teams, in their locker rooms, in their private spaces. I'm proud of the work we've done standing up for women.
Now, Miyares also touted his work tackling the illegal immigration and drug crisis caused by Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Mayorkas' wide-open borders. Take a look.
My job is to protect the innocent and go after these violent transnational gangs that are hurting Virginians, which we have done. As I've noted, my office alone has prosecuted and removed enough fentanyl off the streets that would have taken the lives of 7 million Virginians. And so I think it's important for us to recognize that what we are attempting to do is remove illegal immigrants that have committed violent acts and broken and committed felonies against Virginians, and the 1.4 million illegals that have already had a court hearing under the Biden administration were already ordered to leave the country, and in the previous administration, it was never enforced.
Now, needless to say, the debate was an unmitigated disaster for Jay Jones, who dodged and deflected questions about his reprehensible past, while the Attorney General, Miyares, frankly, gave a master class in debating, landing one attack after another while defending his stellar record in office. And the Virginia Attorney General, now running for re-election, Jason Miyares, is with us now. I watched it start to finish. First of all, unlike the New York City mayoral debate, you actually had a real debate with a real moderator. And you know what? After seeing the next debate, I really came to appreciate the fact that he gave you both time to speak. But wow, that was powerful. He finally got called out on both of those issues. I think this is also going to impact the gubernatorial race there. Your thoughts?
Well, listen, the Virginia State Bar did a great job for us to share our competing visions, but essentially what you saw on stage was Jay Jones trying to defend the indefensible. Because we're at this moment in Virginia, we have this moment of choosing where the eyes of the world, the eyes of the nation are upon us. And really, it's a question of decency. The idea that someone is running to be Attorney General, which your #1 job, Sean, is to stop violence, to be someone that has advocated for violence, not just against his political opponents, but children as young as 2 and 5, children that he's met. He's met Jennifer Gilbert. He knows Todd. He's worked with him. I just find that unconscionable. And the idea that you don't have any major Democrats in Virginia that have asked him to withdraw from the race says so much about where we are. But Virginians, we don't follow, we lead, as Governor Youngkin likes to say. We have this moment of choosing here in Virginia. They could stand with a prosecutor like myself that wants to work to keep Virginians safe, or somebody who has a criminal first, victim last mindset, who's never been a prosecutor a day in his life. I think the contrast is stark, and I look forward to this closing argument to Virginians the rest of this campaign.
Let's get your analysis, Matt Towery, Robert Cahaly, their new poll out tonight that have you leading by 5 in your race. They now have Winsome Sears within 2. That race has narrowed dramatically. I believe the 2 issues that was discussed extensively during your debate will also impact the gubernatorial race. What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, because, listen, Virginia is not a blue state or a red state. It's a common sense state. Virginians see this, and they're scratching their heads. They recognize that any party right now that seems to turn the blind eye on political violence against people they disagree with, there's real questions of their judgment. And so this is now a movement that we've seen in Virginia. I've gotten calls from all over the nation that this election has become nationalized. And so for Virginians and Americans that want to say no to this type of left-wing rhetoric about violence against kids, you simply go to standwithjason.com, stand with us to retire Jay Jones and put him permanently in the private sector, because he is not a prosecutor. He's a left-wing politician seeking a promotion. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen of America, Jay Jones does not deserve a promotion.
You rightly pointed out those text messages. You couldn't pass a background test. He couldn't be working for an attorney general, never mind be the attorney general. Great job tonight. I think people can learn a lot for how you handled yourself. You did a great job. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.